afternoon to all. Myself, Srinivas Prasad, and I'm working with Professor Dr. A. Arakirajan from Department of Applied Mechanics, IIT Madras, India. Today I'm going to present my part of my research work entitled Experimental and Theoretical Investigations of Performance Behavior of Macrofiber Composites. The outline of my presentation is as follows. First, I'll give a brief introduction about macrofiber composites. Then I'll talk about the objective and motivations behind the research work. Then I'll talk about the proposed theoretical models and the experiments performed for characterizing MFCs in for linear behavior. Then I'll talk about the Prejak model, which is used to characterize the nonlinear behavior of MFCs. And finally, I conclude my presentation with a brief summary. Macrofiber composite is a 7-layered active composite which consists of one layer of rectangular piezoceramic fibers embedded in relatively ductile epoxy matrix, which is referred as active layer. And this active layer is sandwiched between two interdigitated electrode, acrylic and Kapton layers. The advantage of MFCs over bulk piezoceramics are, as shown in the figure, they are highly flexible and environmentally sealed package. Because of this, it can be used in non-uniform surfaces, as well as it can be readily embedded in applications. There are many applications of MFCs are available. Notable are it can be used as an actuators, sensors, and to control the surfaces and for structural health monitoring. There are 3 types of MFCs are available, and commercially only 2. This is D33 and D31. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about D33 MFC elongator, which is upon the application of electric field, as animation shows, along the longitudinal direction, it results in elongation, longitudinal strain, which is known as D33 MFC elongator. So MFCs are used in many applications like vibration control, structural health monitoring, and recently this study from Swansea University shows that to vary the cambered airfoil, MFCs are attached over the airfoil surfaces. Upon the application of electric field, the camber can be varied according to the requirement. So in this kind of to make experiments with the MFCs with this kind of structures, it really consumes a lot of time as well as cost. So development of theoretical models of MFCs equipped with smart structures required in order to increase the utility of MFCs. But unfortunately, the data from the manufacturers is very limited, such as blocking force, free strain for a particular single volume fraction. Whereas in order to model the smart structures equipped with MFCs, we need to have a comprehensive understanding about the behavior of MFCs. So with this motivation, my objectives are to develop theoretical models which will give thermo-electromechanical properties of MFCs, and to perform experiments and validate the present models for both linear and nonlinear behavior. So for an analytical model, we used a proposed equivalent layered approach where the second phase layer thickness is directly proportional to the volume fraction of the individual phases. The major assumptions involved in the analytical model is based on the concepts of rule of mixture and series and parallel capacitance theory. That is, there is a perfect bonding between fiber and matrix phase, as well as the load transfer between these 2 phases are perfect. Using these assumptions, there are minor assumptions are formulated, and those are divided into 2 groups: isofield assumptions and weighted average assumptions. For example, if you consider, that is strain along direction 1, if you consider each phase as a linear spring, and since as it is bonded together, if you connect this with a rigid rod and apply a load, both the phases will extend to same amount. As a result, the whole composite will extend to same amount, which will result in same strain in composite, fiber, and matrix. So for the analytical model perspective, the isofield assumptions are termed as independent field variables, and weighted average assumptions are termed as dependent field variables. The objective of the formulation was to find the dependent field variables in terms of independent field variables. So this was the constitutive equation for normal piezoelectric material. By following the few mathematical steps from equation 4, we can able to see that the dependent field variables are achieved in terms of independent field variables. Substituting these expressions in the considered equation and equating the coefficients of the equation, the effective properties can be evaluated as shown here, where the coefficients Z suffix Mn consists the information about the volume fraction and the material properties of constituents. And equivalent layer approach can be effectively applied to two phases at a time. As a result, first active layer is homogenized, and then electrode layer is homogenized. Now this active homogeneous medium is again homogenized with the electrode layer. Subsequently, the effective properties for complete MFC is evaluated. So in the analytical model, the effect of volume fraction only is considered, where the effect of shape and the position of the fibers constituents were not considered. Also, an uniform electric field across the electrodes are considered, whereas in real time, because of this interdigitated electrode pattern, a non-uniform electric field distribution occurs. So in order to take into these effects in finding the effective properties, a numerical model is proposed based on an unit cell model, where an RVE or a unit cell is a small part of a periodic composite, which we can arrange in a periodic manner. We can envisage the whole composite. So while doing that, one should make sure there should not be any void or overlap between adjacent RVEs to make sure that periodic boundary conditions are applied on the a pair of nodes on the opposite surfaces. And equation 7 shows the periodic boundary condition for a mechanical condition. And these applied loads and the induced field variables are evaluated using total volume average technique as shown in equation 8. So to validate the proposed models, we performed experiments on the available MFC samples, and figure shows the schematic and photograph of the experimental setup. And using a function generator, a bipolar sinusoidal waveform is generated and given as input to an high voltage amplifier. The high voltage amplifier amplifies the signals by 1,000 times, and it's given back as input to an MFC sample. And a strain gauge is pasted over an MFC sample, which measures the strain occurred using analog signals. These analog signals are converted into microstrains using a strain indicator, and all these data are stored using NI card with the help of LabVIEW. And in order to find the effect of bonding material that is present in between the strain gauge and the sample, a non-contact type strain measurement which is used, which is known as digital image correlation. And DIC is an optical technique using which we can able to measure the strain over a surface area. The steps which DIC involves is, first we have to capture a series of images over the function of electric field. When electric field is 0, that is when there is no excitation is given, that particular image is called as reference images. The other images, subsequent images, are termed as deformed images. Now these reference images are subdivided into many elements which are known as subsets, and these subsets from the reference image and deformed image are correlated using a correlation algorithm, using which the displacement can be measured.